They told you energy is power, but what they didn't tell you is that you are energy. And power is nothing more than the ability to direct energy with precision. Let's begin with the law that unlocks everything. Energy cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. It can only be controlled. This isn't a quote from some guru. It's one of the most foundational laws in physics. The first law of thermodynamics. But here's what they never taught you in science class. This law doesn't just apply to heat, or motion, or machines. It applies to you, to your thoughts, to your emotions, to the very reality you wake up inside every day. Let's break it open. Energy cannot be created. You don't make energy. You channel it. You redirect it. You assign it form through intention. Every wave of emotion you've ever felt was never created from scratch. It was transferred through thought, memory, trigger, or environment. You are not a generator. You are a conductor. That's why people can walk into a room and change the whole mood without saying a word. They're not bringing in something new. They're redirecting what's already present, shifting frequencies, spinning the quantum field. And here's where things get wild. Energy cannot be destroyed. That anxiety you thought you pushed away, it didn't vanish. It converted. That dream you gave up on, it didn't disappear. It collapsed into potential, waiting to be reactivated. Every word, thought, emotion, and action leaves a signature, a wave, a fingerprint in the field. This is why trauma lingers, why belief systems repeat across generations, why joy is contagious, and fear can paralyze an entire population. Because energy never dies. It just changes shape. And until you learn to control it, it will keep shaping you. Energy can only be controlled. This is where your power begins. To control energy is not to force it. It is to harmonize with it, to speak its language, to translate intention into frequency and frequency into form. Energy control is breathing with purpose, thinking in patterns, feeling on command, moving with awareness, speaking as if each syllable is a tuning fork. But most people, they're leaking energy constantly, through worry, through resentment, through endless digital distraction. They wake up tired not because they didn't sleep, but because they never stopped scattering their field. You were not born to leak. You were born to channel. This is the truth they never wanted you to apply. When ancient initiates first learned to harness the breath, the body, and the word, they didn't call it manifestation. They called it ritual, magic, creation, because they understood something modern science is only just catching up to, that every part of your being is a control mechanism for energy. Your breath, a rhythm of flow. Your voice, a vibration key. Your emotion, a charge that fuels momentum. Your mind, a projector. Your heart, a magnetic field 5,000x more powerful than your brain. And when these systems are aligned, you become something terrifyingly rare, a conscious wielder of energy, not a victim of vibration, but a commander of resonance. This is energy control, and it changes everything. When you realize nothing is ever wasted, that every tear, every thought, every forgotten dream is still alive in the field, you stop throwing energy away. You start redirecting it. And this is where manifestation becomes engineering, where healing becomes reprogramming, where intention becomes architecture. Coming up next in this episode, the energy leak checklist, What drains you without you realizing how to rewire your subconscious to conserve and amplify your field? A myth-busting breakdown of high vibes only, and why shadow work is essential. The ancient secret of emotional alchemy, transforming energy states on command. A live guided exercise to control and circulate your energy field. Comment, channel unlocked, if this is starting to click. Share this episode with someone who's been leaking their power for too long. Watch until the end. We're going to shift your state in real time. Let's talk about the thing that's robbing you blind. Not in dollars, but in frequency. Let's talk about energy leaks. You can eat clean, meditate, even visualize your dream life. But if your field is leaking, if you are unconsciously scattering your energy every day, you'll still feel stuck, like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain wide open. So let's make the unconscious visible. The energy leak checklist. Here are the top ways you're losing energy without even realizing it. 1. Chronic overthinking. Every looping thought that spins with no resolution. That's a frequency trap. Your mind is meant to solve, not spiral. But the ego loves infinite analysis, because that keeps it in control. Replaying old conversations, leaking power into the past. Worrying about the future, leaking power into a version of reality that doesn't exist yet. 2. Unexpressed emotion. You think if you bury it, it goes away. But emotion is energy in motion. If it doesn't move, it stagnates. And stagnation becomes illness, fatigue, inflammation, brain fog, anger held, power restrained, grief unspoken, connection lost, guilt repressed, your identity distorted. Energy wants to flow, and when it doesn't, it festers. 3. People-pleasing. Every time you say yes to avoid conflict, you betray your own field. Every time you twist your frequency to match someone else's comfort, you weaken your signal. You're not here to be palatable. You're here to be aligned. Stop diluting your power just to stay digestible. 4. Digital addiction, doom scrolling, notification dopamine. Every swipe is micro-disconnection. Your nervous system wasn't designed to bounce between war footage, cat videos, product ads, and political rage in 30 seconds. Each time you just check for a second, you unconsciously invite external frequency override, and then wonder why you can't concentrate, why you feel heavy for no reason. You're not broken, you're hacked. 5. Unclear boundaries. No energetic walls, no energetic integrity. When you're accessible to everything, you become grounded in nothing. This is why monks disappear into silence, why mystics retreat into solitude, not because they hate people, but because clarity requires containment. 6. False identity loops. You keep telling yourself, I'm just an overthinker. I'm too sensitive. I've always had anxiety. I never finish things. And guess what? That becomes your vibrational ID badge. The subconscious doesn't argue. It executes. Every I am you repeat is an energy spell. And most people are casting curses, not invocations. Start asking yourself, where am I bleeding power that I've normalized? Awareness doesn't just wake you up, it seals the leak. How to transmute energy, the art of emotional alchemy. Here's the shift most people never make. They try to run away from low energy states, instead of learning how to transform them. But you weren't meant to just think positive. You were built to be an emotional alchemist. Someone who can take anger and turn it into boundaries. Take fear and mold it into courage. Take grief and reveal wisdom beneath it. Energy is not bad, it's charged, and charge is just potential. So here's a truth bomb. You don't need to feel good to raise your frequency. You need to feel real, and then redirect that energy consciously. A simple emotional transmutation technique. Let's try it right now. Take a breath, close your eyes. Think of a recent moment that made you feel drained. Could be a conversation, a memory, something unresolved. Feel the charge. Feel it without the story. No labels, no judgment, just raw sensation. Now, ask yourself, where does this want to move? Is it in your chest, your throat, your stomach? Now breathe into that space. Visualize that energy as a color, a pulse, a wave. And instead of fixing it, imagine it converting, like steam rising from fire, like compost turning into soil, like sound turning into music. You're not getting rid of it. You're alchemizing it. That's energy control. Remember, energy never dies. That's the beautiful and terrifying truth. What you suppress doesn't vanish. It waits until you either face it or it finds another way to be felt, usually as illness, sabotage, chaos, or numbness. But what you face with consciousness, that becomes fuel. Anger becomes clarity. Sadness becomes depth. Fear becomes instinct. Anxiety becomes readiness. Confusion becomes surrender. This is not denial. This is conversion. And the ones who master this, they walk through life as if they're wielding lightning, not because they avoid the storm, but because they became the eye of it. So now you know, energy can't be created, it can't be destroyed, but it can be wasted, it can be scattered, and it can be hijacked if you don't learn to control it. You've seen where it leaks, you've felt where it stagnates, and you've tasted what it means to transmute emotion into power. This alone puts you ahead of 99% of the world. But we're just getting started. Because in episode 3, you're going to learn how to amplify your signal, not with thought alone, but through the most powerful energetic force in your body, not the mind, but the heart. You'll discover why your heart field isn't just 5,000x stronger than your brain's. It's the primary transmitter of your reality. And once you sync thought with feeling, logic with love, clarity with coherence, you don't just manifest, you magnetize. So if you're ready to shift from awareness to amplification, click episode 3 now. Comment magnetized if you're in. This isn't just a series, it's a system, a ritual, a remembering. Let's keep going.